Hello, everybody, and welcome to Out of Combat, the podcast for after the live show for casters of Cantrips. My name is Moves Like Jagger. I play Azric. I'm joined by our sexy Hayden guy, or virtual Spectre, who plays Hayden, and our glorious Dungeon Master, Maximus Rake.
Why am I not sexy Dungeon Master guy?
It goes without saying, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll take
it's
it.
a given. Yeah,
I'll take
It's
it.
a requirement, I think, for DM.
It certainly is not.
yes, it is.
All right, just, we're trying to pump people up here.
Okay, I'll let. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. Gas me up.
That's right. I was just gonna say the same thing. Thanks. But we wrapped up episode 55 tonight, and man, a lot of stuff happened. I didn't think was gonna happen. I thought we were gonna go straight to the voting of the Captain's Congress.
Mm-hmm. Look, y'all have so many secrets. Everyone has secrets. They're all catching up to you.
Oh boy.
Every single one of you.
Good old ex-captain Marius Blackthorn, Taj and Azric's ex-captain, is back, and boys rolling in money.
So I got a question on that one for moves. When you started to figure out, like, that's who this person coming in was that Blackbeak was worried about, you don't have to reveal any backstory things, but like, was your character like immediately freaking out? I know you played it a little nervous, but I feel like Azric's a lot more nervous than he shows sometimes.
When it comes to Blackbeak, Azric definitely puts on airs that he's more confident than he is. But yeah, things did not end well, at least in Azric's truth. That I guess maybe I could just tell about the backstory, since this is not. Maybe I'll let it play out. You have to keep watching to see the true backstory of what happened during that mutiny.
People had suspicions,
but yeah, I thought we were done with that guy. I had nothing to worry about. But now I was just kind of scared because he doesn't know what Blackthorn knows or how much he knows. And now that he's looking for Taj, which he probably thinks Taj is still on his side because Taj is a fortune teller, and she can guide him to this big prize that he keeps talking about. So definitely doesn't want to lose Taj. And I think it would have been very interesting if I decided not to be Gunther and be Azric, and see how that interaction would have been. But there's still time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. I was curious if. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Max. I was gonna say he seemed cordial to the Volran.
Yeah, no, Volran's a stand-up pirate. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Just got a bum leg,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was curious if y'all are gonna hide from him or what, but it's interesting. What do you, as players, what do you think his deal is? Like, why would this happen?
Like, why come out of the blue and during the whole Congress? Maybe he knows the Congress is happening, and that's a good opportunity to get a full crew, because every single pirate and their peg legs are here on the island. So like, big opportunity. And maybe kind of like freak out the honchos, are like, hey, I'm back, baby.
Yeah, because I mean,
back in town.
We kind of tried to ask in multiple different ways about like what his interest in the Congress is, and either he's really good at keeping things close to the chest, or he just doesn't seem interested in going for a seat. Like Moob said, he just seems like he wants to reform the new crew.
I mean, it sounds like he wants this big prize, and then he's retired. He's done. He's got mounds of treasure. He doesn't need to be a pirate anymore.
Man, he's a part of your backstory. I know nothing about this guy, but I guess is him winning the backing of like merchants something that is like, yeah, this guy definitely could do that, or is this like a weird thing?
I don't know. Maybe Max might have more insight on that. But like, yeah, merchants become pirates. It happens. We turn people into pirates.
I guess I mean like him being able to sell himself as like, this is a dude who, by all intents and purposes, had nothing anymore, according to what Azric and Taj said. So how does a former captain who has nothing like win over investors like that? I don't know, man. It's weird.
Right. He was definitely a badass pirate. Like he was like one of the top dogs. So there's, he still has that going for him. It's just, because of a series of unfortunate events and some, mutiny, that he ended up losing everything. But like in his own right, he's still a badass pirate, and people feared him.
Okay.
But he's acting like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, his new money. I don't know.
You mentioned like, yeah, merchants become pirates. Merchants become pirates. Very rare that merchants bankroll pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of conflicting interests.
Yeah, merchants bankroll privateers and people that hunt pirates. Usually. But I mean, like you said, merchants do become pirates. So maybe he just convinced the right merchants to pirate. Go all in. He's a smooth talker.
I want to bring it up, but I can't, because then I guess that would spoil Hayden's secret, because Max, you muted Emmy, myself, Buns, and Max audio, so we couldn't hear what was going on. And I want to talk about it, but I feel like we can't talk about it.
Oh, because you all don't know what was said.
Yeah, the secret message. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Hayden got a secret message.
Which I will say is strange, because Taj is like one of the only people that he's really met that has the ability to do that. So I'll say this. He is not entirely sure. He has an inkling, but he's not entirely sure who it was that was speaking to him in his head. Which I don't know if you saw my face when it was happening. I was kind of like...
You're trying to process it.
Okay. But I won't say what was said.
Fair enough. Because the way message works, and I don't know if this is changed because it's your world, Max, but like you point at someone and you whisper the message, and it gets sent to that person. So either that person...
You have to have line of sight on them?
For message you do, but message isn't the only spell you can use to talk to people.
That's true. Sending is a higher level spell, which you don't need to be 100 meters or 100 feet.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So either they were in the room and used message, or they used a higher level spell, sending, to talk to you, which
one can you respond? Like if somebody messages you, can you respond?
Both. You can.
Oh, both can do it? Okay. I didn't know if there was a limit. I'll say they didn't give a name of who was... They didn't go like, "Hi, it's me, so and so.
I missed you." All right. Well, we'll move on for that, because we can't really talk about it, because unless I just take off my headset and Max and BS talk about it. We got
No.
a little bit of Hayden's, maybe a little bit of his backstory when Serena mentioned about merchant stuff, and that piqued Hayden's interest. Were you trying to
Yeah.
find out more information about your family?
Well, she asked, did anybody ever serve on merchant vessels before? And Hayden had brief stints on a couple different ones. Like as he went out on his own and was trying to get his footing in the sailing world. Like he was on at least 2 different ones. But that's when I like, okay, this person like has some history with merchants. That's why I asked, like, have you know of the high winds? Because Hayden's dad wasn't like the biggest merchant vessel out there, but like he made his way around all over. So I was trying to see maybe this person, and they mentioned Osham, which is where Hayden's from too. So I don't know. I just wanted to see what they knew. Didn't really seem like a ton, though.
What was
I don't know.
what was your take? Because Whisper, I think, made some comments about like, did they like recognize you and know you from before, or they just happened to like be interested in you?
I don't think it. I didn't get the feeling like they recognized me. Well, unless did she say, "Have I?" Did she say, "Have we met before?" I don't remember what she started the conversation with.
Yeah, I think she was just trying to strike out the conversation, like, hey, have you all like
Okay,
been merchants and done some of this stuff? Like, just striking up conversation. And
but it wasn't directed specifically at Hayden.
not necessarily.
Okay, that's what I
Maybe
thought
she
it
was-
was.
Maybe she was trying to find like a common ground to, Mike said,
Yeah.
strike up a conversation. Like, oh, I was a merchant too, and we could talk about merchant stuff, and now we're pirates. Haha, how fun is that?
It's one of those things. Like, you ever like run across someone like you just like can't remember their name, and like you hope it like comes up.
Oh yeah. What did you ask about Whisper? I'm sorry.
it's just what she observed and kind of
Oh yeah, I
talked to
think
Hayden about.
so. It's no secret she doesn't like Hayden. So I think
Mhm.
any opportunity she can find to be extra suspicious about Hayden, she's gonna like voice how suspicious she is of Hayden.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
She wants that job.
That's not a secret for sure.
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't pay well.
Yes. Question for you next. Because campaign 1 was so kind of not straightforward, but we were like more unified. We were grouped together. Like, hey, this is how we start the campaign together. Is it harder to do to DM for a group that has so many secrets and none of us are willing to share?
Yes. So I think, and like my philosophy as a DM, and after playing in games too, where everyone had like a secret and stuff like that, I think like with like for anyone out there listening, even though this isn't necessarily Toma knowledge, like if your character has a secret, don't expect anyone to try and like organically figure it out. Like, drop a couple breadcrumbs. If they don't pick up what you're putting down, literally tell them this is like what's going on, because otherwise they probably won't know. So it does make it hard for us, because we're doing this for an audience too, to kind of leave those breadcrumbs and not be specifically overt about a lot of that stuff. But I think in the style of game that we have, with like intertwining backstories and everyone's kind of got a secret and stuff like that, there's a lot of intrigue that's kind of just waiting to bubble up to the surface.
Yeah, I feel like without you working in a lot of this stuff, we would probably never get around to learning anybody's backstories in this campaign. We just don't. We just don't dig at each other's like stories at all.
Yeah,
I think because like maybe because we talked about this before, like Azric and Taj will never say it unless something forces their hands, right? But like when we, for whatever reason, when we like get into game, like we kind of forget about it. I don't know why it is. Like we don't ask each other questions because there's like so much other things going on.
It's like so how we've come together as a crew on this ship. We've sort of been on this like survival like mode for a while now, and so not much time to like really press people on or being suspicious of like your crew when you're all just trying to live, get from one place to another alive. So I think now with this kind of setting that we're in, we're not really in a ton of danger. There's like this big thing that we're counting down to. There's more downtime and more time for like that sort of thing to come into play, I think. So
I think if Whisper and Blackbeak's other crew members weren't part of the ship, then maybe Azric would be more willing to share things, but he still doesn't 100% trust Whisper.
Yeah.
Well, he chooses not to. And now that she's an officer, she's like, she goes all to the officers' meetings, so it's kind of like he has to not always be careful what he says, but kind of, you know, it's kind of like beating around the bush.
Yeah, makes sense. Everyone's got secrets.
It makes me think back too, because when we got caught, when we were like negotiating with the Conservancy, she was like, all right, I need 2 people from your crew. And then Max said something. He's like, I'm surprised you didn't give up Whisper. And I was like, oh shit, I could have done that, but then I don't know what the repercussions of that would have been. Because
that's true.
Because they only wanted 2, and how many of we have 3 of hers, so there would have been 1 left that would have been immediately like against us.
Whisper, Swift, and Boulder.
Unless we killed that person.
Yeah.
That
I
would
think that
go
was
over well
with crew morale. Yeah, crew morale would not go well, and we're already at like the low point of crew morale and to the point of
because that led
everything.
Part of that was that and having our ship almost sunk, all built up into like the captain vote.
Very much so.
Azric just really hated Garrett Berry. Just like
yeah. Man, thinking about it now, so we have our secret. Taj, Azric, Hayden all have histories that they're not fully willing to expose. And then we have Cooter, who's just a mysterious old lady who we don't know much about. And then Emmy, who wants to desperately share like her history with us. Like she's like, oh, I want to take you to, you know, my people and all that. And it's just like, we haven't had a chance to do much of that yet. So I'm much just excited to see where this goes.
Yeah. Yes. Did you have contingencies, Max, if we failed some of these missions, and who would actually get the seat?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like some of this like definitely is riding on how well you all did this stuff. Like, yeah, for sure. So it's a dynamic sandbox that you're playing in. So
a damn good one.
Can I ask real quick of Max? So if we're 55 episodes in, did you foresee us like at this point barely getting into like the meat of character stories? Did you think it would take this long to get into it?
I'm aware that the cast has commitment issues now. Judging from campaign 1 and campaign 2. So I mean, yeah, I think we've talked before about like if you want stuff to come up, like you got to make it come up. But I think there's some things kind of like with where we're at, regardless of like, I don't want to say regardless of, I want to say that because of the way things have happened, some things are just going to happen based on things that are happening in the world that may not have come up, or things that you all have done to directly influence the world. Things are coming up. So, and you know, make no mistake, it wasn't we'll just pull someone from Azic's backstory. That'll be cool. Like, all of these have strings. It's like Charlie, like, putting strings all together to all this stuff. So on a board from to my Always Sunny, by the way, if you heard, where he's trying to put the pieces together. So things happen, and happen for a reason, based on things both within your control and outside of it. So
I wanted to mention moves. It was funny. You asked the guy, like, you guys move statues or what'd you say?
Yeah, because he said he was a smuggler. So I was like, oh, maybe his group was the one who smuggled Hayden's statue to
Max's response was so funny. He's like, why would I smuggle a statue?
I just, maybe I was just trying to like make a connection
thought.
that may or may not be there, because like, these merchants go around all over the place, and this guy's more specifically, a smuggler, or dude does the things that normal people wouldn't ship. So I thought maybe there was a connection there.
Hey, I didn't expect it to come you to ask it, so I was like, oh yeah.
Who's moving statues?
Statue cartel.
Mm-hmm. Y'all just need to start combing through all your notebooks and stuff and start making some wild theories and see, you got little tidbits everywhere. But speaking of tidbits, thanks for listening to this tidbit about Casters and Cantrips. So make sure to catch episode 56 on Friday to figure out what the heck happens next. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.